Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Fang. Today is going to be a very atypical episode because we have, well, a problem. A really big problem, actually. I've spent some time sitting here having a look at the game, as I often do, deciding what I want to do next. And something I ought to have checked ages ago, I finally got around to checking. Let's click on Germany. And let's find the relevant button. There, leave faction. This whole strategy requires me to leave the Axis, but I am not allowed to do it when I am fighting a war with them together. Now, in Hearts of Iron, diplomacy is by design rather simplistic, and the reality is, short of defeating the Allies, we're not going to be at peace. So, what that effectively means is that I cannot launch my surprise attack. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be all that much of a surprise, but you get the point. So, the campaign scale has gone from a quick surprise attack to take the land I need and click the button, to having to defeat the United Kingdom, most of the Commonwealth, and then in all likelihood also the United States, because they'll be in the war at some point relatively soon. That means the invasion of all of these places too. That obviously will somewhat lengthen the game. I fully believe it's possible, by the way. I think that's achievable, totally achievable. But it will take a considerable investment of time. Like, I would estimate total victory against the Allies somewhere in late 1943. That would be my guess. Maybe 1944. The biggest obstacle is the absence of navy, which, again, I could very decisively decide at this point Greece is going to be about building a navy, we have somewhat of a start, and we could do it. But it will take a long time. The other option is, while doing this, I could embark, say, on the campaigns of Alexander. I could go and try to take Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, move into British India. I could actually commit to a campaign in the Eastern Mediterranean and take Egypt and such. That has some interest for me, actually. I'd be okay doing that while building up the fleet. There's that possibility for achieving success. And then third, there is a plan that involves the Soviet Union. And it's partially related to my plan before of having the Soviet Union soak up, the strength of the German Reich. But in this plan, I, as decisively as I possibly can, and this can only be done through Lend-Lease, I give the Soviet Union insane amounts of military supplies. Virtually all I produce. And hope that they're able to win the war. Because if they can push through into Berlin and capitulate the German Reich and capitulate Italy and Hungary and Croatia, they will get a peace treaty, they will puppet or annex most of these states, and my faction, other than me who doesn't join the war, will be completely destroyed. And at that point, it's irrelevant that I'm not, that I'm part of a faction, because all this territory I need will not be controlled by my faction. That's fairly risky, because I obviously cannot guarantee that the Germans will lose against the Soviets. That if I adopt this strategy, there's a significant risk that it could just go completely wrong, and I'd be giving away huge amounts of military resources to do so. Finally, there is actually the possibility that the Allies will launch a successful campaign in the Balkans. I would consider it to be quite unlikely, and even if they do, if I go in and occupy the territory after them, it will probably revert in control to its owners, Italy and Croatia. So that's not even necessarily an option. So what we're looking at is I can more or less simultaneously pursue two of those courses. Two of the three courses, broadly speaking, I've discussed. I can attempt to defeat the Allies in a long war by building a navy and invading them. I can embark on the campaigns of Alexander, and I can try to fuel the Soviet Union's defeat of Nazi Germany. I think, broadly speaking, I have the resources to do two of them simultaneously. So, this non-episode I'm giving to you, this shortened episode, is a poll. I'm going to ask everyone watching to vote in the comments section on these proposals. What path do you think I should go down? And by the way, I realize if you think this has bumped the time frame way beyond the original, video estimates, and that would be completely true, it has. If you would prefer I move on to another game or another campaign and, hold this on the back burner and maybe never come back to it, and maybe do, that would be okay. Vote for that if you wish it. So, I'm asking all of you, leave a comment. Tell me what you would have me do. We've got a bunch of options, and I'd like to hear what you think about it. Till then, this has been Fang, and I'll catch you next time.